Okay, so hello everyone. So now we are going to start with the Hindu analysis of 29th May 2026. So let's begin with the first news. That is, this is the important news, the first page. So nearly 1200 fishing harbors to be brought under CISF watch. So what is important from this? So first, fishing is important. Fishing, okay? So now, what is important in fishing? So in which list does fishing comes under? So you have to remember that first of all in state list or in concurrent list or in union list. So the state list, it covers local, inland and coastal fisheries. But these coastal fisheries, it should be within the territorial water. Okay. Then we have fisheries also under the union list. Now under union list, what is there? Union list. So under union list, when this fishing or fisheries comes beyond territorial water, then it comes under union list. That is, it is handled by the central government, and this beyond territorial water means those in the exclusive economic zone region. Okay. The next important thing to learn from it is CISF. Now what about CISF? So let's go to the Google, and here I have already opened it. So there are 7 central armed forces in India. So the first is central is a police force, CRPF. The second is border security force, that is BSF. Third is central industrial security force, that is CISF. Fourth is Indo-Tibetan border police, ITBP. Fifth is Sashastra Seema Bal, SSB. Then sixth is NSG, that is National Security Guard. And seventh is Assam Rifles. Okay. So you should remember how many central armed forces are there in India and what are their works. We will learn further in the further classes about their works in detail. So here you can also take a screenshot or maintain a note about their works, on which area they particularly operate, and all information has been provided here. So the next important news here come to page 2. Gupta vows clean toilets on menstrual hygiene day. So here what is important? So first of all, when is menstrual hygiene day? So it is on the 28th May. Who has globally observed it as menstrual hygiene day? There is a Wash United. It is an NGO. So it has observed globally menstrual hygiene day on 28th May. Okay. Next, Indian Supreme Court has ruled that menstrual health and hygiene is a fundamental right under Article 21. Okay. So remember it. And under which case it has been, this order has been ruled out. So it is under Dr. Jaya Thakur versus Union of India. So it is this case. Okay. Under this Jaya Thakur versus Union of India, Supreme Court has ruled that menstrual health and hygiene is a fundamental right under Article 21, and this menstrual hygiene day is observed on 28th of May, and it is a Wash United initiative. Okay. Now we come to the editorial, page 8. So with the first editorial, that is contradictions within India's cow protection regime. Now how to learn this editorial and all, I had already explained in my previous video, yesterday's class. So we will do the same method. Okay, so let's begin this editorial. So yeah, contradictions within India's cow protection regime. So cow protection laws may not increase cow population, States with strict anti-slaughter laws like Gujarat, UP, they saw decline in cattle population. That is, only with the making of certain cow protection laws, it does not mean that there will be an increase in the cow population. Okay, so and we have also seen that the states which have anti-slaughter laws, strict anti-slaughter laws, they also saw decline in cattle population, while West Bengal performed relatively better. Okay, next, buffalo population increased faster than cow population. Data shows buffaloes grew rapidly because farmers can sell unproductive volcanoes more easily, so their population has increased faster than cow. Okay, next, because farmers can they sell their unproductive volcanoes more easily. Then economic burden of the farmers, it is a concept that is when they have to sell their cattle and all. Okay, next, farmers struggle to maintain old or unproductive cattle due to fodder stock costs and lack of income from sale. So this forms a type of economic burden on farmer. So when there is an old and unproductive cattle, and even on that point you have to provide fodder, so the farmer bears the fodder stocks, fodder costs, and even the farmer had also a lack of income because there is no sale and all. Okay, so cow protection is the next point. Is cow protection is sometimes linked with politics and religion. So the article says cow protection has long been used in political mobilization and communal debates. Supreme Court and constitutional angle. So what is the Supreme Court and constitutional angle? Article discusses privacy, food choice, religious freedom, debates along with Article 48. Now what is Article 48? Let's search it. Yes, so Article 48 you can see here, it is a DPSP and it directs the state to organize agriculture and animal husbandry on modern and scientific lines and to take steps for preserving and improving cattle breeds. It also mandates the prohibition of the slaughter of cows, calves and other milch and draught cattle. Okay, so now we can open the Hindu. So here what is given? So the recent discovery of hundreds of cows carcasses at a dumping site in Jaisalmer, Rajasthan, Italy triggered an outrage on social media. A few years ago, a similar incident involving the mass starvation death of cows was reported from Chhattisgarh. The new BJP, that is the Bharatiya Janata Party government in West Bengal, issued a public notice on May 13, 2026, laying down stringent conditions for slaughter of cows under West Bengal Anti-Animal Slaughter Control Act 1950. Last week, a two-judge bench of the Calcutta High Court upheld the notice, observing that conditions mentioned in the impugned order were issued in compliance with the High Court's order of August 16, 2018. Consequently, no cow, bull, bullock or even buffalo can be slaughtered without first obtaining a certificate of fitness from government officials. Despite all the rhetoric, the notification permitted the slaughter of cows older than 14 years, which justifiably annoyed Hindutva supporters. Over 20 states in India have laws prohibiting cow slaughter. Only Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Sikkim, Tripura, Manipur, Mizoram, Kerala, they do not have such laws. So first of all, from this much line you may have inherited that this topic is somewhat taking a political angle. Like you can see here something about the Bharatiya Janata Party government. Then it is talking about like how there are laws preventing the slaughter of the cows. Okay, so from this much we have also understand that there is nothing so important of this editorial, but still you should remember those points, those important points that I had given you, like Article 48 first of all, which is related to DPSP. Okay, then you should remember that it is not only about the laws. So making stringent laws does not mean the cow population will increase or somewhat that. Okay, And finally, politics and sentiment continue to overshadow realities of cattle preservation in India. Okay, so this editorial is not that much important, but you should remember something. So that is Article 48 TPSP laws relating to cattle slaughter not doesn't itself mean that it will lead to increase in the cattle population. How farmers face losses and economic burden on the farmers, and the political sentiments associated with the cattle slaughter and all. So you should know about these facts, a basic understanding. So now the next, brinkmanship in the age of growing conflict. So let's see this, what is important there. Okay, so here see, first of all, what is the meaning of brinkmanship? So it means pushing a conflict to the edge of war. So there is a conflict and you are pushing it to the edge of war to force the opponent to back down or negotiate. So you are forcing your opponent to back down or negotiate. Now, so the concept came famous during the Berlin blockade and Cuban Missile Crisis, especially in the nuclear context. Okay, so this is just an source, that is the beginning where it began. So new fact is the modern examples like Iran-US tensions in the Strait of Hormuz, Russian-Ukraine war, Hamas-Israel conflict, and China's action in the South China Seas. These are the recent examples. So we got 3-4 examples like Strait of Hormuz, Russia-Ukraine war, Hamas-Israel conflict, and South China Sea dispute areas. So next, use of proxy and asymmetric warfare. That is, countries and non-state actors, they increasingly use terrorism, proxies, blockades, and economic pressure instead of direct war, like Iran uses in the form of, we know all, that is Strait of Hormuz. Okay. Next, so decline of diplomacy. The article warns that global diplomacy and institutions like the UN are weakening while coercion and military pressure are increasing. So global diplomacies and institutions like UN, these are weakening. Okay, and the coercion, military pressure, these are increasing and strengthening. Okay, so now let's learn the introduction first. Okay, so Iran's closure of Strait of Hormuz, as I told you there, and the blockade of the United States of Iranian ports are among several acts of brinkmanship, a legacy of the Cold War era. So it began in the Cold War era, as we have learned before. Refers to single action or a series of actions during a conflict or a sort of war situation that forces a perilous climb up the escalation ladder to force the adversary to back down, make concessions, negotiate, or even do something irrational that would justify the use of uncalibrated or wide use of force, coined by Western political scientists in 1950s and 1960s while analyzing crises such as Berlin blockade and Cuban Missile Crisis. The term also warned the risk of escalation spiraling out of control, particularly in the nuclear context. Now, these rest, you take a time, you read it, what you understood, you see, but remember the points which I told, like use of blockades, terrorism, or forces, how these influences or acts as a brinkmanship. And the next is like how the international organizations are losing their relevance, and like UN, and how military forces are gaining the power. Okay, and the important point, the growing reliance on brinkmanship threatens an already fragile global order. Okay, already the global order is fragile. We have learned many articles how the global new emerging global order, how the global order is, the existing global order is not anymore we can say it is not anymore of use and all. So how this growing reliance on brinkmanship, that is not a direct war, a type of negotiation or forced negotiation, we can say blockade, an act of using acts of terrorism and all to pressurize the opposite party. So how use of this brinkmanship, it threatens an already fragile, the global order which is already fragile, it threatens it. Okay, so now read this entire article and take a look what you understood from it, what you could find out from it. So coming to the next, with increasing the strength of the Supreme Court, will increasing the strength of the Supreme Court solve the pendency problem? So this is the article. Now what are the important points we should remember from it? So see, this is there are a lot of things to remember lot of things to read from this article. So we can read many things, but we should remember some important points. Now what are those? So see here. So Supreme Court judges increased. So government has increased the Supreme Court judge strength from 34 to 38 judges to reduce the case pendency. So this is the first thing you should. So judges strength increased from 34 to 38. Next, huge pendency problem. Supreme Court currently has around 94,000 pending cases. So these all facts will help you in the mains answer writing. Okay, so just remember these facts. So 94,000 pending cases are there, creating delay in justice delivery. So it creates a delay in justice delivery. Then there are special leave petitions, which is a major cause for delay. So excessive use of Article 136, that is special leave petitions, has increased the burden on the Supreme Court. Now, there is a need for institutional reforms, that is experts suggest filtering frivolous cases, limiting PIL misuse, encouraging written submissions, and improving litigation policy. So that the need of the hour is filtering frivolous cases. Frivolous means when we say when there are serious silly cases or lack of serious cases, that is called frivolous cases. So limiting PIL misuse, encouraging written submissions, and improving litigation policies would be the present institutional reform. Next, more judges alone not enough. Only increasing the judges is not the solution. Okay, article argues that simply increasing the judges may also increase conflicting judgments, that is there will be conflicting judgments unless judicial discipline and structural reforms improve. So the most important thing is institutional reforms, not only merely increasing the number of the judges. Okay, now what is special leave petition? So it is under Article 136 of the Indian Constitution. It allows a person to directly approach the Supreme Court again any judgment or order of a lower court or tribunal, even when no abnormal appeal is available. Simple meaning is, if when you don't when you think that your high court's decision or lower court decision is unfair or it involves serious injustice, you can request the Supreme Court to grant special permission to hear the case. Okay, now if the Supreme Court agrees, this SLP, that is special leave petition, is accepted and becomes regular appeal. And an important key point is Article 136, that is a discretionary power of the Supreme Court. That is special leave petition is a discretionary power of the Supreme Court, and it is used in exceptional cases involving grave injustice or important legal questions. So now what all we learned, what are the points to remember from this article? Judges increased from 34 to 38, 94,000 cases pending. There is need of institutional reforms. Only increasing the number of judges is not mere solution. The next, special leave petitions. Okay, so these all are the most important points. So how you saw how I have taken out the most important points, and there is not a need to read so much. So you can take a read. You can once read it and just remember what I told you and make a note of it. Completed. The next is, now see this, under this only there is an article related to lightning. Okay, so and if I see, then continuously we are having questions on or news on, not questions, news on lightning. Okay, so it becomes important for us to know something about lightning. So some important news related to lightning, like first of all there is a Damini portal, which, what is the work of this portal? It is a lightning alert portal. Okay, remember this term, Damini. Next is there is a Sachet portal. What is this Sachet portal? So this is a national disaster alert portal. So remember these portals: Damini portal, Sachet portal. The next is Damini is a specific lightning alert. Sachet is a disaster alert. The next is there is a Bharat Vistar. Bharat Vistar. Now, what is it? Now, Bharat Bistar is a AI powered digital platform, and it is specially for farmers. Okay, regarding crop advice, it can be crop advice and weather alerts, weather specific alerts, even market prices, news and information they can be provided to farmers from this. Okay, so these are the main points that are related to lightning, or we can draw from this particular news, that is Damini portal, Sachet portal, Bharat Vision. So these are important news. Okay, then there is sedition. So I have already taught sedition in yesterday class in detail. What is sedition, how it is different from hate speech. They're mentioned in the BNS. So there is no specific term mentioned in the BNS. Okay, so these all I have what are the punishments given under sedition, what are the punishments given under hate speech. So all the details I have already told in the previous lecture, that is the 28th May class, the Hindu analysis. So please check it. Okay, coming to the next news. So in the page number 12 we have Chandrayaan 2 finds possible presence of ice in lunar south pole. So this is just a fact, remember it, that the Chandrayaan 2 has found the possible presence of ice in lunar south pole. Just remember this much. If anything extra will come, then we will deal with it, okay, in the upcoming lectures. Then come to page 16. So here there is an important news, that is first Hulk. Remember this Hulk. So what is this? So it is an Islamic ritual marking the completion of Hajj. Okay, so just remember it is an Islamic ritual and marking the completion of Hajj. Okay, so name is Hulk. Then to the last page, that is page number 11. So here a news is there, that is tuberculosis. So this is very important and we should learn on it. So first of all, what is tuberculosis, from what it is, which this disease occurs? So it occurs from a bacteria, okay, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So remember it. What is its vaccine name? BCG. Okay, Bacillus calmette guerin. So it is its vaccine name, Bacillus calmette guerin, BCG vaccine. What are the treatments of you can say TB? So treated through antibiotics, and a very important news is related to it, that is in the TB cases where it has been seen that there are higher cases of AMR, antibiotic microbial resistance. Okay, then there are certain terms or news you should remember, that is Pradhan Mantri TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyan. So this is an initiative and it is the world's largest crowdsourcing initiative for both, that is nutritional as well as vocational support initiative. Okay, so the next is there is a Nikshay, remember it, Nikshay Mitra, that is these are individuals and communities and corporate bodies to adopt and support TB patients. Okay, so remember this, Pradhan Mantri TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, and next is Nikshay Mitras. So remember these names. Okay, and the next important fact, that is the India's TB elimination target was till 2025 and we have missed it. Okay, just a fact, remember it, that is the TB elimination program by 2025, that is the India's ambitious target to eliminate tuberculosis by 2025, has effectively been missed as of early 2026. So these are the important facts which we should remember regarding the TB. Okay, and in the further paper, if something new will come, then we will further learn it. So this much is for today's The Hindu analysis, and like, share and subscribe to the channel. And from tomorrow uh, I will try to bring the paper, the news analysis as soon as possible, a little early. So okay, so like, share and subscribe. Thank you.